Good morning, welcome to Cast for Calm. And this was I thought I'd do a very quick video. So basically I get asked quite often how I approach the water, and for a lot of the waters I fish I sort of know them. I know them quite well, but there is the odd venues that I go to, and today being one of them, that I haven't fished, or I haven't fished for years. In this case, I haven't fished this place for 38 years, something like that. And basically, it's Kingsbury Water Park. And the reason I'm here is that I'm doing a recce for a pike video I'm going to be doing in the near future. So this will be part 3. So I think part 1's on now, which is there's a Xander video next week, chub, and then part 3, a couple of weeks time, be for pike fishing. And I've decided to fish Bodymore Heath Water, which is the biggest lake on the Kingsbury Water Complex. I think it's 45 acres, so it's a big old sheet of water. So yeah, you can't just turn up to a water like this. I have fished it before as a kid, but I'll go into that more in the video itself. But yeah, I thought I'd better come and do a recce. So let's go and have a look. Yeah, so whenever I approach a new water, I like to do my research. The research starts with just a quick Google. Have a look, see what you can find out online about it. Is anybody else fishing it? Go on the pike groups, Google the name of the water, see if anybody else has fished it. See if there's any particular swims that are producing. And for obviously with Bodymore Heath Water I'm fishing on Kingsbury Water Complex. It's, I say, 45 acres. So I've managed to download, I've been on the Kingsbury Water Park fishing site, and I've managed to download the depth map. So we're into November now. It's actually quite mild at the minute. So what I'm looking for, especially on a big expanse of water like this, is where the feed fish, the shoal fish, the prey fish are going to be shoaling up. Where are they going to be? It's a massive sheet of water, and you've got to find them prey fish. Find the prey fish, you're going to find the predators. So the first thing I'm looking for, it's a kingfisher. Just a kingfisher just flew straight across the path here. First thing I'm going to be looking for is signs of where these prey fish could be. So, having looked at the depth map, it's actually quite a shallow water. It's only sort of 6 foot is deepest. And just where I am now, I'll turn around. You can see I've got I don't know if you can see that. I have got an island. Now, looking at the depth map, there's some deeper water between myself and the island. Now, it's quite a sort of featureless lake, really. It's not a lot of features per se to fish to, but what there is the island straight in front of me. So I'm stood now, and I'll spin you. I've got the deeper water between me and this island, and obviously the island itself provides really good cover for the shoal fish, the prey fish. And this is peg 54 by all accounts. So let's go and have another look around here. So straight away I'm thinking, right, I've got a feature, I've got some deeper water. So in the winter when it's cold, really cold, the prey fish will tend to go to deeper water and anywhere there's cover. So straight away now I'm thinking, right, okay, right in front of me now I've got deeper water and I've got cover. This along, I've also got this overhanging tree, and the same to my left here. I'm having a look as well, looking what trees I've got behind me. See if I've got decent sort of ability to cast from the swim. So yeah, so straight away this is an area that would interest me. It's sort of in a deeper area. It's cover. I mean, the rest of the lake's quite open and windswept. But this time of year, I'm feeling that the fish are going to be shoaled up somewhere. And certainly if I was going to be contract to netting this, for instance, or electric fishing it to find out where the fish were, these would certainly be the areas I'll be looking for. In my experience, when we've been out electric fishing, contract fishing, ready to net a place, we'll always head for the sort of area like this with islands, features. You've got sheltered water between the bank and the island. So yeah, this is definitely an interesting spot. It's actually really mild for the time of year, so the water temperature is still quite high. So the chances are the fish could still be quite spread out. And we've had a lot of floods and heavy, sort of wind and rain, but the temperatures have been really mild. So that actually might spread the fish out a bit. So with that in mind, I've definitely got this in my head as a potential swim to fish. It's got everything I'd need, really. But what I'm also going to look for now, I'm going to have a wander around, and I'm going to have a look, see if there's any signs of cormorants, grebes, any sort of prey birds that are likely to be feeding on any shoals of fish. So if I have a walk around and I can see that cormorants are working in a particular area, well, cormorants ain't stupid, they're going to be in the area where the fish are because they want to feed on them. So that'll be an area, that's another sign that the fish are probably shoaled up in that area. I'm also thinking about is what the weed situation is. There's plenty of weed in here. Now I know this is a boating lake, but generally speaking, when there's a sailing club or boats on here, as a general rule of thumb, the weed's not too bad because the boats tend to sort of, as they're sailing around, they sort of pull the weed up, or the weed doesn't get time to establish. Not always, but it's always a decent sign. There's another island in more open water here, but that's further off. So that, any features like that, you've got the main island out there right in the middle, but beyond that island there, it's just a big, massive expanse of open water, and the same down that sort of, what would it be, southeast end, just down there. But the swim next door, I can see it sort of goes in, it funnels through between these two islands, and for me that looks like a good area. Fish are not stupid. When the shoal up, they're constantly getting predated in this country by whether it be otters, cormorants, grebes, all sorts, different prey, mink, all sorts, and the fish dart for cover. They'll always shoal up, even in the summer if they're getting predated, they'll shoal up. Now this area here is it's sort of a, if you like, you can just see in here there's like a small sort of bay through, if you like, back into the open water, and you've got all that cover on the island. You've got a bit of cover here, and it's difficult for a cormorant to land in areas like this because they need quite a bit of room to take off. So yeah, like an area like this would be a really good area. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to have another wander around. I've got this in my mind, these two swims here. Certainly I'll be looking at these if once the water temperatures plummet, if we're getting sort of -1, -2 in the winter, these would definitely be swims I'd be looking at. But as I said, with it being a little bit milder, it makes it a little bit more difficult because the chances are they could still be spread out. But again, if they are being predated and they're regularly getting predated, which I believe they are, I think there's a lot of cormorants on here, again, they'll still be here. They'll be here away from the cormorants because it's a good holding area. It's sort of, they've got a lot of cover here. So yeah, this would definitely be a spot. But I'm going to have a wander around now, see if there's any signs of cormorants. and see where they're working. So I'll see in a bit. I'm literally about 2 swims down, and I'm going to creep in here because he's going to fly off. I know he is. But I don't know whether you can see. There we are. Black Plague himself. So yeah, he's in the main body of water here. So he's working this area. Zoom out a bit. And again, I see that cormorant working this area. If you just looked there, just where he was working, there's a massive snag in the water, fallen tree. So straight away that piques my interest. I've got cormorants working this area. It's not far from where we were just there. So there's the area of interest that I mentioned earlier. But now, coming around onto this point here, seeing that a cormorant is working this area. I've got that big snag to the left. I know that the fish, as I thought, are at this end. The prey fish are at this end of the pool. So yeah, these would be my target areas. But so what I will do when I come and fish on the day, I'll have another look. If the cormorants are working this area, I'll fish it. If they're working between the islands, I'll fish it. But as I said, to be fair, I'll be quite confident still fishing over there because it's that pinch point coming in, and the chances are that the shoal fish are in this area and they're using that there as a holding area cover. But what I would be tempted to do is put one on the bottom over there, maybe a popped up roach, and then this area here, stick a float out there and drift it around. As I do with all my predator fishing, and I'll mention it on the Zander video, and if you haven't seen the Zander video, why not? It's up. You'll enjoy it because I've caught a couple of nice Zander. When I'm predator fishing, I always fish 2 rods. Normally, you can only use 2 rods here, but I'll have one on the lead, sort of on the bottom, or popped up just off above the sort of the debris on the bottom, and then I'll always have one float drifting, and normally I'll fish that sort of, I'll start at maybe a foot above the bottom, and then just keep working the depths, coming up and down in the depths and drifting it around the swim, and seeing where the fish are. You can use it as sort of a searching tactic. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully we'll be alright. Hopefully we'll catch something. Yeah, I'll speak more about the actual approach on the day. But yeah, I wasn't planning to film today, hence I'm on my phone. Sorry, I got an itchy nose, something landed on my nose. But I thought it'd be interesting for you to know how I approach water. I don't just turn up to a water, especially one as big as this. As you can see the size of it. Yeah, it's a big old sheet, 45 acres, the biggest lake on Kingsbury's complex. But yeah, it's a nice water, and by all accounts there's some really big pike in here, sort of well over 20 pound. And the irony is that I live 5 minutes away from here, and I haven't fished it since I was a kid, which is crazy really. But yeah, there's all sorts of fishing on here. You can do some specimen carp fishing in Bodymore Heath water. This one I'm on now, there's some monster bream. There's some, I mean, big bream, quite well-known big bream water. So in the summer I'm going to be filming here to do some bream fishing. But yeah, I'm now just keeping my eye on the water, and I'll spend half an hour, 3/4 an hour here now having a look around, and yeah. But yeah, I'll straight away. I mean, I've got these swims in my mind to fish, just because there's cover. There isn't a lot of cover on the rest of the pool, to be honest. But we'll have a look. So yeah, I'll catch you in a bit. Okay, so I've had another look round. I've had a walk around the lake, and I've now seen 3 cormorants in that same area. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a starting point for me when I fish on Thursday. So in a nutshell, when I come to a new venue, first thing I do is my research online. Have a look on the forums, see what other anglers are catching, where they're catching from, any information I can gather online. It's like today I downloaded the depth map. I've also had a look online to see where the southerly bank is. On Thursday when I fish, it's forecast as southerly wind, and that is the bank with this snag on where I want to fish. So yeah, we've got a southerly wind, a warmer wind blowing straight into there, so I would expect fish to be on the end of that wind. It's a warmer wind. The area where I'm fishing is actually deeper water. I haven't looked at the depth map, but the fact that there's a southerly wind blowing into here, I've got cormorants all over it, I've got some decent cover snag wise, this would definitely be a starting point for me. So yeah, so do your research, have a look online, have a look where, especially on bigger waters, see where the southerly wind is, because southerly wind is always a good starting point, especially a new wind. Fish do follow a southerly. As the old saying goes, fish when the wind blows from the east, fish bite least. When the wind blows from the west, the fish bite best. But also southerly wind for me. I will then visit the venue, have a wander around, have a look at some potential swims. If there's anglers here, chat to them. There isn't on here today. Have a look for signs of fish. I've just sat for 5-10 minutes now. There is actually, I don't know whether you'll see. If I look on that island now, there are bream rolling just off that little island there, just on that corner. In fact, there's signs of life all over. But that's what it's all about. You've got to get your eyes on the water, do your research, find out what the southerly end of the lake is, get your directions basically. You know where the north end of the lake is, you know where the east is, the west. Look for cover, signs of cover. Look for signs of predation. Look for cormorants is a big thing, because cormorants will always be feeding on the prey fish, especially when it comes to your pike fishing. You want to be looking for cormorants, grebes, obviously otters, any other fish-eating bird, goosander, things like that. Get your eyes on the water. Is there any fish rolling? Is there any signs of fish? Is there any fish darting out of the water? Are they being predated on? Check the weather forecast. Is it a low pressure, high pressure? I prefer a low pressure if I'm honest, but as I'm sure you're aware, and I'm no different, I'm not fortunate enough to be able to fish whenever I want and get on the perfect wind, get on the perfect weather. So I'll just have to pick a day and fish it. We've all got work commitments. So unfortunately, on Thursday, forecast is bright sunshine and a southerly wind. So I'm not looked at the temperature. But it's not perfect. I could do really when I'm pike fishing like a cloud cover, like a low pressure. But you can catch. You can still catch. But yeah, there's another cormorant just flying over now, just literally towards the swimmer said earlier. Yeah. So yeah, I'm constantly got my eyes on the water. Never take my eyes off. If there's a fishery manager, a bailiff, if there's staff, park staff, chat to them. I've tried going into the hut earlier on. Unfortunately, it's closed for some reason. But I will have another look when I go back over to the car park. I'll just see if I can get to speak to a ranger, and they'll put you right normally. Fishery managers, bailiffs don't want you to catch, so it's in their interest for you to catch. So they'll always be helpful. Anglers not always helpful. They can be sneaky beaky, but yeah, not all of them. It's always worth going and having a chat, building up a rapport first. Don't go if you go up to an angler. Don't just go piling in there. Oh mate, you got out, caught out. I always approach slowly, quietly. How you doing, mate? You're getting on, catching a few. Yeah. So yeah, it's a decent day for it, isn't it? Build a rapport, start chatting. So now I've got gulls here as well. There's a gull just literally just come down, drop down, and pick some up off the water. Now the chances are that's probably fry. So again, that's another sign. It's another telltale sign. So I've got southerly wind, I've got cover, I've got deeper and shallow water in front of me. I've got birds, cormorants predating here. So all the signs point to the fish being at this end of a 45 acre lake, and that is a huge telltale sign that there's going to be pike down this end. But all you can do is your best. All you can do is your research, you know, try and work the venue out. My intention is to fish quite a bit on here this year for the pike, because it's just down the road from me, and I have, since I moved back from Norfolk, I've really struggled for my pike fishing. So it's not the greatest place in the world, but I know for a fact in Bodymore Heath water there are some big pike. But I don't think it's the easiest, but there are some big ones to be caught. So do you know what I thought? Do you know what? It's 5 minutes away. It's 100 quid for a season ticket, or you can buy a day ticket, which this time of year is only £6, including your parking, which is a bargain really. And that's for 2 rods, as I say. You can only use 2 rods on the course lakes. But you say you can buy a season ticket, and it's well worth it because you've got good carp fishing on here. It's carp to nearly £40 in pine pools, where they have the British Angling Championships are on there. Bodymore Heath has got some massive tench, some huge bream on here. Some cracking bream videos on here, on YouTube actually, on Bodymore. The Angling Times have fished and all sorts. So yeah, it's well worth a season ticket, and there's some nice river fishing as well actually, which I'm going to check out for a later video, because I think on my 4th video I'm going to be doing some stick float fishing on the river, because there's some grayling on this stretch, and there's some obviously chub, dace, roach, so it'd be nice to do that. But yeah, so it's a nice place, it's a nice venue. I mean, in the week, what you have to do when you fish Bodymore, and I will go into this on the main video, this was only really a quick video, but very quickly, if you do want to come and fish here for the pike or anything, right, on Bodymore, it's a sailing club water, so there is a sailing schedule online, so you can check to make sure they're not sailing at the time you're fishing, because obviously if you do, the last thing you want to do is be fishing and a sailing boat come tacking past you and taking your lines out. But yeah, you can check that out online. So anyway, that's how I approach the water. I should go back now, think about the information. I've took a few photos of potential areas, and I shall have a think on it and sort of work it out. But now, when I come back on Thursday, I'll have a good idea of the area I'm heading to. Once I get here on Thursday, I will have another quick look, see if the prey fish have moved. You can normally tell with just having a quick look round. You know, you can see where the birds are, the cormorants are, and the thing is, where I am now, I've got with the island there. Let me just zoom you out. I've got the island there for cover, and that pinch point, if you like. Just walking along here onto the end of this spit. The fact that I've got this spit as well gives me a lot of water to look at. So I've got another swim here, which is more open water, but I can probably get to the end of that tree there, that snag. That's good cover. I've potentially got a bit of cover down there as well. I've got a swim here, which sort of leans towards more open water fishing. And then I've got the one on the end of this point here, which is where I've seen the cormorant. And you've also got this bay in here, which will work as well. You know, sometimes the pike will push the prey into one area, but the only thing you've got to watch about Kingsbury as well is that. I don't know if you can see, you've got bloody dogs. It's a dog walking paradise. But yeah, here's the point swim. So you've got the island in front of you, and you've got the big snag out there, and you've got all this open water. And this is where the cormorants were earlier on. So yeah, you can imagine on the southerly wind all the prey fish being down this end really. In fact, if you look over there now, Oh, zoom in. May not see it. Is it? Can you see it? There's a grebe working just off the end of that bush there. You can just see him there, look. There we go, we've got gulls in the area. You know what gulls are like? Greedy, there you go, he's going to go down. Yeah, there's gulls all over this. So, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind, the prey fish are down this end. So yeah, that'll be my starting point. But as I said, that's where you've got to walk. And trust me, dog walkers are alluring to the sails normally. I could be fishing right in the swim and I'll send a dog in the swim. I mean, you look at them, gone out and tell them, well, you know, my dog's got he's got every right to go in the lake. Right here, when you've got 45 acres, unbelievable. Don't get me started on dog walkers. Anyway, that's how I approach Paul. Remember, if you haven't already watched the first video, first part of a six-part series is now online. So that's on Zander fishing. You can catch that video here. Next week, you might be watching this next year, in which case they'll all be up there. But next week it's chub fishing on Sunday, and that's a great video, by the way. So yeah, I'll catch you in a bit.